Welcome back to Creativity Made Easy. It's Meryem here. This week I just want to share with you guys how I did all the decor for my son's Transformers themed birthday party over the summer. I didn't do too much decor. We just had a small gathering in the house, nothing big. So I did a simple balloon backdrop. I made a small fondant cake and then just printed a few labels to do table decor. Nothing too crazy. All the templates are below to download if you want to recreate this look. And most of the items were from the Dollar Tree, so it's super inexpensive, and it took me about 2 days to do everything. So if you're interested, stick around and I'll show you how I did it. Okay, so the first thing I decided to do was to make the cake. Now, I am not a baker by any means. I've actually never even baked a cake, so I wasn't even going to attempt it. I just ordered like a plain blue icing vanilla cake from the bakery and ordered that for the day of my son's party. And for the topper, I decided I could do that myself. I was just going to make a dummy. So I purchased one of these styrofoam balls or whatever round cake things from Hobby Lobby. It's 8 inches. And then I made all the fondant myself at home using marshmallows. I followed a super simple recipe by Liz on the YouTube channel Sugar Geek Show. And I'm going to leave a link in the description box for her video. It was really easy to follow. It took me maybe about 10 minutes to make the fondant. I used my KitchenAid to make it. And she even shows how to color the fondant and make all these different colors. So I made yellow, white, black, red, and blue for the cake. So the first thing I did with the cake was I rolled out the red fondant that I had made, and you have to keep it pretty thick. I did this a few times. The first time I rolled it out too thin, so when I tried to put it on the dummy cake, it just like fell apart and tore apart. So I just rolled it out again with, you can see maybe about like a centimeter, 2 centimeters of thickness, and just cut off any of the excess fondant that I didn't need. I don't have any of the proper tools. I just used my knife to cut off the excess fondant that I didn't need, and then I literally just turned over the dummy, and the excess fondant, I just stuck it to the other side. So when the base of the dummy cake was done, I just set that aside and I decided to work on the transformer face. So I actually printed out this template. I'm going to leave it in the description box. You're just going to roll out your black fondant and trace the outline of the template on the black fondant and cut that out. Next, I rolled out my yellow fondant and I cut just the paper template. I cut out each of the individual portions inside that like the little parts of the face, and you're going to cut all of those out on the yellow fondant. So honestly, the hardest part of this entire cake was making this like Transformers face thing. It took me maybe about 30 minutes just to do this, just because it's like really small cuts, and like when I did the cuts, I didn't have any of the proper tools. I was just using my knife, but you just want to soften up the edges. I just patted it down with my finger just so the jagged edges were kind of gone. But just play around with it until it kind of looks good. Like, this was my first time ever doing this, and I think it turned out decent, but I didn't think it was too difficult to recreate this. Then I just added a little bit of water to the back of each of the pieces, each of the yellow fondant pieces, and I glued them like with the water, I guess, glued them down or held them down to the black fondant frame. And 30 minutes later, this is how it turned out. I think it turned out really cute. It's not perfect, of course, but for a first attempt, I think it's not bad. So I actually set this piece aside and I let it dry overnight because I wanted it to harden a little bit, because I felt like if I just stuck this to the, the red cake right now, it would kind of all slide down because it was so fresh and soft. So I just let it harden a little bit, and then the next morning I went back and used my water and, stuck the Transformers face back on the cake. So I needed some blue fondant. I was going to make all the stars to decorate the top of the cake with, and I just used a little bit of my white fondant, put blue gel coloring in it, and mixed it up to make blue fondant. So here I just made stars with my red, white, yellow, black, and blue fondant. You can get these star puncher things from Hobby Lobby. The entire pack was, I think, $2.99 or $3.99, and you get 3 different sizes. So here is a Transformer's face and all the stars made. I let these dry overnight so they could harden a little bit before I, added them and secured them to the cake. So with just my black fondant, I had a little bit extra left over. I decided just to spell out my son's name, and I didn't use any templates. I was just using my knife and making his letters, but you can actually buy templates from, I think, no, not templates, what are those called? Cutters. Cake cutters, fondant cutters from Hobby Lobby if you want, but they were like $10 for a bag, so I just freehand cut these myself. So here I just added the water to the back of the Transformer's face and glued that to the cake, and I added all the stars with these sticks I purchased from Walmart. In the gardening section there was these, these were the ones for the fake flowers that you add. I'll leave a link in the description box. I forget what it's called, but yeah, I purchased them from Walmart. They were like $1, and I just cut them to different lengths and then stuck the stars in them and added those to the cake. So the day of the event, I just added the dummy cake on top of the actual cake that I had ordered from the store, and I just created a border using these white sugar chocolate balls that I purchased from Walmart, and I just made a border around, and that was it. So for the table decor, I started with the water bottles. I cut out strips of blue, red, and yellow construction paper. Actually, it was cardstock paper. And then the templates that I've provided below, just download them, cut them out, and just tape one of the strips of the construction paper around the water bottle, and use your glue stick and glue one of the Transformers faces to the construction paper. It's super simple, easy to do, and it looks really cute on the dessert table. Then I made some snacks for the kids using my son's favorite chips. I put them in individual square size Ziploc bags. Then I wrapped each one of the Ziploc bags around the white clear wrapping paper that you can get from the Dollar Tree. And then I tied those off using white ribbon, and I put it inside these black and white boxes that I purchased from Hobby Lobby. For the party favors, I went really simple. I purchased the yellow party bags from the Dollar Tree, and then I just stuck one of the Transformers faces on there. The templates, once again, are down below. You can download them, cut it out, use a glue stick, and just stick them on. For the gummy treats, I used the same cutouts that I used for the water bottles. I just wrapped all of the gummy treats with black construction paper and then added one of the templates of the face right on top. And then also, if you want, I did do this rollout sign. The template is below. I just printed the letters, cut them out, and then made a border with black construction paper. So I glued each of the letters to black construction paper, cut it out again, and then I just used scrap pieces of construction paper to create a backing for each of the letters so that it would stand upright. So this step, I don't really think you needed the rollout sign, but I was kind of just trying to fill up space. I didn't want to fill the entire table with junk and treats and all that. So I filled it up with the sign, but it looked cute. So for the backdrop, I just kept it simple. I didn't want to spend 2 to 3 hours making a balloon garland, so I just decided I wanted balloons hanging on the wall. So what I did was I purchased yellow, white, gray, and a few like baby blue balloons, all from either the Dollar Tree or from Walmart, but from the 99-cent balloon section. I didn't purchase any of the expensive balloons. And what I did was I inflated all of them using my balloon pump. Then I rolled like a long piece of the 1-inch clear tape from the Dollar Tree. I created a long piece of it and I glued about 10 balloons to each of the segments of the tape, and then I just taped that piece to the wall. So I added 8 rows of the 7 balloons each, and then wherever the gaps were, I filled those in by individually just taping balloons into place. And then just to make sure that the entire piece was together, I just added pieces, like a long piece of tape on the back of the balloons as well, just to make sure the entire thing kind of stayed together. So all of this is secured in place using tape alone, and it's Dollar Tree tape, so it didn't peel the paint or anything off my walls. It's not that strong, and it was super easy to get up, and obviously to take down was really, really simple as well. And that's it. I think the entire table turned out so cute. If you're interested, the landscape that at the very back of the dessert table, that's just from Target. It's from their party decor section. I think it was around $3.99. I use it for a lot of the parties just to give a little bit of color in the back, but that's where I got that from. And the chips are sitting on top of white baskets that I had purchased from Hobby Lobby, and they were around, I think, $4.99 each, and I used my coupon to get those as well. And the one gray tablecloth is from the Dollar Tree, and the other one on top was from the clearance section in Walmart. So please comment below, let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna leave a link in the description box for all of the templates and all of the cost and everything. And if you haven't done so already, please be sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date with all my latest tutorials. I post videos on Tuesdays, or at least I try to. And I'll see you guys in my next week's video, God willing. Bye.